we have had a lot of conversations during the day about the technology in architecture, technology in real estate. Then we talked about commercial real estate on the design also. This concluding session, we have two eminent architects. So by pleasure, I am privileged to have with me the veteran of the design industry, architect Prem, Nath, and the young Turk of the design industry, Rahul Mistry. So we are looking forward to having some very diverse views from both these experts, the design experts of today's design industry. From both the speakers, first of all, every one of us here in the room, we have our own perceptions and perspectives about what design is. From you, Rahul, you are, a young, a vibrant, dynamic practice that you have. And I know it is your passion for music that led you to the field of interior design. So for you, what does design mean? How do you define it?
Hi, good evening. Good evening, sir. It's an honor to be here with you. Okay, so I think I'll fragment this into a couple of episodes. So I think I was actually meant to be a sportsman initially.
Okay.
Followed by I decided to engage in music. And eventually I, pursued design. However, I feel there's a strong connection in what we do at this point of time, because we sort of are driven dynamically, in a sense, through music. So my design studio essentially believes that any project that we do has to move someone. There needs to be soul in it. So I think at a very early stage, we could establish that connection with what we are doing and what we want to do. And hence, every project that we end up doing, we ensure that it's just not a project which is creative or opulent or luxury, but in fact, there's a story in the project. So design for me is quite personal. And while we are still young, and my practice is young too, we took the route of diversification. So we strongly believe that we should be as diverse as possible. Also because I've extensively lived my life in a lot of hostels. Hence, I've moved a lot, and it has actually taught me a lot. And so, being an avid learner of what you're supposed to perceive is a constant process that we follow in my studio. I do have a lot of idols who I strongly feel that they sort of are able to express their works in a magnificent manner, in the most simplest manner, and it just touches you. So I think me and my design practice, we try and follow those principles.
No, that's great. Music moves people. I think that is where you find that inspiration. That design should also move people emotionally.
Absolutely.
That their experience of the space. We'll get more in detail to that part. Now coming to architect Prem Nath, you've been in the industry for 50 years. We were not there that time. 55 years,
55
yeah.
years.
So we were not even there at that point of time. So how do you define design?
See, question is what is architecture to me and to us who are there. I am sure you, first of all, must understand what is an architect. We've been meeting for quite some time, you don't know me well. When an architect comes to your events here and there, but still don't know me well. So first define an architect, then talk about architecture. Now I like to possibly give you little about 2-3 minutes of my presentation to tell you what an architect is supposed to be. आप मुझे नहीं जानते हैं. I like to tell you, in case you permit me to speak in Hindi, मैं आपको मेरा आर्किटेक्ट का परिचय हिंदी में प्रस्तुत करना चाहूँगा. हिंदी मेरे देश की भाषा है, आपको अवश्य पसंद आएगी.
बिल्कुल.
लोग मुझे अक्सर पूछते हैं, प्रेमनाथ जी, आप क्या करते हैं? पूछते हैं क्या करते हो? आर्किटेक्ट क्या करता है? आर्किटेक्ट घर बनाता है, मैं भी घर बनाता हूँ। मैं दोस्तों घर बनाता हूँ और घरौंदे बनाता हूँ, घर बनाता हूँ, घरौंदे बनाता हूँ, बस्ती बनाता हूँ, ऊंचे मकान बनाता हूँ, बस्ती बनाता हूँ, ऊंचे मकान बनाता हूँ और आलीशान बनाता हूँ। ऊंचे मकान बनाता हूँ और आलीशान बनाता हूँ। मंदिर बनाता हूँ, पाठशाला बनाता हूँ और मधुशाला बनाता हूँ। मुहंदिस हूँ, नक्शा नवीज हूँ, नक्शे बनाता हूँ, नगर बनाता हूँ, नगरी बनाता हूँ, आईटी बनाता हूँ, यूनिवर्सिटी बनाता हूँ। सपने, आप सपना देखते हैं ना? देखते हैं सपना? मैं सपना नहीं देखता हूँ, मैं सपने सोचता हूँ। सपने सोचता हूँ, सपने सजाता हूँ, सपने दिखाता हूँ और सपने सजाता हूँ और सपने बनाता हूँ। 2.5 अक्षर का नाम है मेरा, छोटा सा नाम है। वास्तु ज्ञान शौक है मेरा। मैं गीता और कामसूत्र का अध्ययन करता हूँ। कर्म योगी हूँ, मनमोजी हूँ। चालू हूँ, शरीफ हूँ, बदमाश हूँ, आशिक मिजाज हूँ और आशिकों के आशियाने बनाता हूँ, आशियाने बनाता हूँ, आशियाने बनाता हूँ।
Well, that was quite a poetic definition of an architect. Yeah. Rahul, do you agree with this poetic definition of a designer, of an architect?
Now tell me this, I have narrated about architect.
Yeah.
I had dared to mention that कि मैं चालू हूँ, शरीफ हूँ, बदमाश हूँ। इतना कोई बोल सकता हूँ अपने बारे में?
Rahul?
But that is the architect perception of architect. Architect is supposed to be all in one. अगर मैं सब नहीं कर सकता हूँ तो I can't do architecture. Architecture is a very vast field, very difficult profession. It's very impossible to do for anybody to any practice of architect. To able to put up your building, you got to go through so many of kind of miracles to do things to able to come successfully and put many of them in routine part of work over there.
Correct.
So architect has to be kind of different breed of kind of person.
That's right.
That's what I'm doing. That's my experience last 55 years has told me I have gone through from scratch to self-made to whatnot. Nobody come ready-made in life. You build yourself in life yourself.
That's
So
right.
architect is a unique person. So architecture is something which is a very large canvas, very large perception for any architect. And field is so vast that it's difficult to discuss, endless.
That's right.
My space, entire universe is my canvas.
That's right.
Now
I
get
think,
in further.
I think you have summarized it very well. Rahul, what do you have to say about this?
Absolutely. I always end up discussing with some young architects. I always tell them that it sort of seems quite glamorous, our industry, but I think there's too much of hard work in that. And but yeah, very important is to enjoy that process. So essentially, you have to have a multipolar approach to anything and everything that you do. As he rightly said, you should be capable of doing everything. Hence, any new project that comes your way, there are only two options. One is you establish yourself that I just do this, or you actually rediscover yourself. So I think design as an industry, I think has a lot of potential, and that's what we've been exploring for the last 1 decade in my studio.
Right.
And as he rightly said, there is a lot of hard work, but then you also feel super proud about the fact when you look at your portfolio. I was just looking at him when he was showcasing all his projects, and I was like, wow, I mean, he's genuinely so happy.
Yes.
And I don't know if it's right on my end to say whether he's content, but I could surely see the kind of flair in him while he was showcasing all his projects that he's worked on various categories. So yeah, I think, sir,
Quite
stunning.
inspirational indeed. Yeah. That also brings me to the next question. You both are quite passionate about your work. Architect Prem Nath, अपना काम के लिए आप बहुत passionate हैं. Rahul, you're very passionate about interior design. But there must be something that you don't like about your work and something which you like the most about your work. So Rahul, what do you dislike the most about your work? What do you like most about your work?
It's actually tough to list down what I don't like about my work, but let me say I was lucky that at a very initial stage in my career, we could establish a very organized methodology of working. What I'm trying to say is that when you identify any project, it's equally important for you to identify the different diverse consultants who are going to be working with you. I think it's a give and take relationship. You can't be a jack of all and master of none. There used to be one phase where an architect apparently would end up doing everything, right from the master planning to landscape to the architecture to the interiors, everything. But I think now everyone has started understanding that it's equally important to maybe practice what's your forte and then also learn from your associate consultants on board. However, coming back to your question of what I dislike, I think we are still flourishing. Our country is still adapting to what a versatile design should be all about. A lot of times you end up meeting clients who potentially look at a lot of referrals. They're avid travelers, and hence whenever they travel, they have some ideas in their mind. But it's equally important to identify where you belong. The project should be a reflection of the client using it. And I think that's a thought which is very important to ensure that we have those kind of extremely legendary architecture monuments in our country. That can only happen when you have that vision of looking at it as a a kind of a longevity and not something which is just trending and then it just fades off.
Right. What Rahul just mentioned, बहुत टाइम क्लाइंट्स आते हैं, हमने ये वहाँ देखा था, हमें ऐसा ही चाहिए. That is something what he does not like, कि हमने वहाँ देखा था, अभी हमको भी ऐसा ही बना के दो. What you don't like about your work? Do you have similar experiences, or there is something else which you don't like?
What are my favorite?
Not favorite.
As an architect, my job is Sapna. मैं सपने देखता रहता हूँ, अपने सपने सोचता रहता हूँ. Keep on dreaming. My pastime is very favorite pastime is my wife tell me क्या कर रहे हो, सपना देख रहे हो, घर में बिल्डिंग बना रहे हो, कौन सा नया बना प्रोजेक्ट शुरू कर रहे हो. I'm always lost like that. I'm good in design, good in perception, good in concepts over there, the ideas go beyond and over there. I'm way ahead of, I can think of future, whatnot. I find most difficult part of my profession is communication, correspondence, letter writing, documentation, thesis, report, all. That's really, I'm bad in English. That's why I became architect. मुझे अंग्रेजी नहीं आती थी, मैं इसलिए ड्राफ्ट्समैन बन गया, तो धीरे-धीरे बन आर्किटेक्ट बन गया मैं. And I became good architect, successful architect. But even now, I find I can't read big book. I can't read big documentation. I can possibly I can explain a whole thing in one page. I can't take whole book. So I'm very weak in language communication, whatever we call that. My language is silent. My drawing, my design concepts, my dreams. That's what I like it.
So the admin work and the the writing and the filing and the
चिट्ठी पत्री
mails.
ये वो documentation एयरटेल में boys उनको मैं बोल देता हूँ समझा देता हूँ क्या करने का उसको I get them nutshell
Okay.
within my mind and they are good at doing that thing.
Okay.
But design तो खुद ही करना पड़ता है.
Okay, great. So we know now that what our architects here don't like about their work, although they are very passionate about what they are doing. On a serious note, what we are seeing is it's a globalized world now. What happens in one part of the world affects everyone, or all the cities, all the countries around the globe. In design also, we are seeing a globalized approach now, and not only globalized approach, interior ho ya exterior ho, Western influences hai, but also confluence of designs, confluence of influences. Moorish architecture and Turkish architecture and Indian architecture, everything is getting in a same space. We are seeing a lot of design elements. What do you have to say about it? Is it good? Is it bad? Is this the trend of going forward? How do we take it?
See, I tell you what, I'm an old timer. I have seen architecture in our country when majority nation we have hardly anything over there. We have very basic things. I've seen growing basically. I've seen our country getting exposed to the world. I've seen economic thing happening in our country over there. With the turn of century, with internet happening, and the World Trade Organization treaty happening, has brought the world together, more closer. We are able to communicate faster, we are able to get feedback quickly through the internet, through email, new technology, new trend, smartphones, smart computers, smart thing over there, smart life. And now trade, ITO, International Trade Organization, has compulsory makes it the to and fro to do over there. So it has a broad opportunity for international consultants, service providers, technical people, organization, whether it is architecture, automobile, or some industry or construction, engineering, technology, all put together. We have been trying to interdepend with each other. We are not inventors. We are inventors somewhere. We are good in India, somebody good in Europe, somebody good in US, somebody good in Australia. So we are trying to learn to take best out of all of them. That's what import-export happened, including import-export of services, engineering services. Now that has brought us together and we're able to do more so in the coming international context. We have to do collaborations now, consortiums now. We're working large projects where we did the ability, we're building ability by joining hand with some foreign hand and foreign hand joining us over there. You'll be surprised. I am doing a project in China. Client is in Germany. And I'm designing from India. I have not met each all of them. We're doing it. I'm doing a project in Riyadh. A project client is again in Germany. I'm in India. Project in Riyadh, about $900 million. I've been asked to do due diligence on the project. Now, sitting in India, I'm supposed to do pretty good for them to do due diligence. Now, that is what is becoming globalization.
Globalize, yeah.
So we learn from each other, new technology, new trend, new things over there. That's how we grow. Today, you cannot stay in own shell. So we are learned to how to collaborate with foreign designers, foreign architects, foreign things over there. It's a good experience. They have more experience. They are ahead of us over here. So somewhere we are good, somewhere they are good.
Correct.
So it's a very good kind of opportunity to be globalization.
Correct. As architect Prem Nath said, globalization is good because we are able to collaborate on many levels. Also, the other side of it, is it where we are also losing our uniqueness? Do you see, is it good or somewhere we have to be cautious of globalized designs?
Not really, because see, it's very contextual. If you are exposed to what's happening around, especially while we do a lot of interior design projects, so for us, we always look up to the Italians, right? Now, there's a very healthy synergy between all the architects and designers. We love to curate products of some really great product designers. Now, that collaboration is an absolute success because just a while back, not many of us would believe in curation. They would essentially focus more on the shell. And then finally, when it comes to styling, curation, the right lighting, etc., would be just, in a hush-hush. Now, when you collaborate with, say, lighting consultants, you have furniture consolidators, you have so many different materials which you can even import here, which are not available here. So I think with all of that, it so happens that the project output is quite superlative. Also, I think it's extremely sustainable. So for example, if we talk about lighting, a lot of times, with all due respect, lights are abused. I mean, no one really wants to calculate the lux levels of the lights. No one wants to really evaluate as to what is the right Kelvin that you require for a particular purpose. Now, everyone wants to go learn, understand, have a lighting consultant on board. Likewise, we talk about technology. We want some smart integrators to be a part of the project. So I think it's extremely important to be connected. Also, yes, when we're here sitting in Mumbai and when we end up doing projects abroad, that's again extremely important. You have to be technologically connected. You have to have the right methodology. You have to have everything in the right place, for which you will need the diversity which exists in today's world.
Correct, right. So global collaborations, I think now is the way forward. We can no longer be working in silos. India is on a global map now. That brings to the next question, is what are you concerned about the future? This is the good part of future. What are you concerned about the future?
Really, I'm afraid of future.
Maybe something in future that you are concerned about.
I'm not afraid of future because I'm a positive thinker.
Hmm.
Future always bright. You look at the history of the last 100 years. Future will be always bright. Future will be growing. You'll be making progress. You make advancements. Our life will become better. So I'm not worried about future.
Mhm.
It's only you have to think positive about. In another country, as an architect, I can anticipate the future. I can foresee the future.
Hmm.
I can possibly figure out how to go about. Okay, pre-plan some future. Nobody knows future, but architects are
You
smart
have
cookies.
to, yeah.
They're
Yeah,
smart cookies,
yeah,
they can
correct.
anticipate.
Yeah, correct. So architect Prem says you, as an architect, as a designer, he has to anticipate, what the future needs would be, and he's a positive person, so he would like to think positive. Any concerns that you think, we should be worried about in terms of where we are going as designers, as building industry?
I'm not really concerned because we are living in a developing country and it's only going to get more progressive. However, I think it's extremely important to have a very honest dialogue with the design fraternity to establish a footprint of ours. I think that's something which is extremely important because um, there's an option that you lost in the crowd, or you actually try to create something which is going to be a landmark. So I think everyone should identify the Woodstock in their life and just try and be as honest towards design. I see a lot of production and reproduction happening, and I feel we are so capable of reinventing that we should rather spend some time on that and ensure that design. I'm from Gandhinagar, by the way, so I wanted to just bring this here. So essentially, I'm connected to Ahmedabad. So Ahmedabad has the best schools of design. So you have NID, you have SEPT. The students there are research oriented, and I've actually grown up with them. So when I see that, and I see the potential that we have, it's just unfortunate that we don't really end up utilizing those potentials in the true format. And quickly giving you an example, our museums and art galleries, they are not encouraged in our country either, right? So I think more than alarming, I think there are a lot of opportunities which I think once the fraternity sits together and they have an honest dialogue, I think we can establish something which will sustain.
That's right. I think while we are looking at the world and winning the world, going global, we need to nurture our talent, like Rahul said, and create our own footprint in the global world as Indian designers, and you are already doing it, working from here for a German client in China and Riyadh. So we are already on that path. But as you also said, that we need to nurture the design language, like museums and art galleries. I think among the masses, we are here talking and having this conversation, but this has to go to the masses, to the um, Rahul, you are also an academician. You have been teaching students, the design students. What is your top advice, or what top advice you will give to the young design students?
I just tell them to keep it simple. I mean, as a young architect, designer, you will want to do so many things. But it's important to streamline yourself first. Learn. Learn as much as you can. And if you're a young entrepreneur, then, as I said, keep it simple. Try and create a portfolio of yours. In the meantime, there's a process to know and observe so many things. So I think keep it simple, and you owe yourself your own career. So I'm sure they're going to be serious about it.
Okay, fantastic. Great advice. Keep it simple. Architect Prem Nath, for young budding architects, young budding designers, what do you have to
all
say?
the young architects, professional, even otherwise, other professionals also there. Architecture is not a business, it's a profession. First thing is that. And nobody can ready-made in life. You learn from life. Two things. Third thing is, Ayn Rand had said in her writing, Ayn Rand, the famous author of Way the Living, a Fountainhead, this world belongs to superior people. You have to be superior. You have to be better than the West. There's a lot of competition outside. There's no shortcut. You have to be better than the West. That world is cruel, you may call that over there. Architecture is a very wonderful profession. It gives a lot of satisfaction. It's the only profession which gives you kind of a lot of variety of life over there and gives you contentment. As an architect, you can become rich, but you can't become super rich. Remember that. So never dream of becoming super rich or billionaire. If that's so, then you'll be contented architect. You'll be very lucky that you'll be satisfied, happy, contented architect, being rich enough to handle your life over there. Don't try to be super rich. You will lose architecture. You lose yourself.
Okay. So architecture is not a business, it's a profession. Rahul says, keep it simple, be true to yourself. And as architect Prem Nath said, don't think you'll become super rich being an architect. So that's the advice to our young architects. Now, this is the difficult question. One accomplishment, I'll ask you to give only one accomplishment. You have so many first to your name, but one accomplishment that you are really proud of.
I'm not a proud man. I am a very humble service provider. I'm an architect. Somebody write check for me, I got to give him service. As simple as that.
Okay.
It's my ability to give my best out of that, my imagination, my visualization, my capabilities, try to reflect my personality and give him comfort so that he is happy. He's happy, he got more business over there. So there's nothing I can be proud. I have to always remain a humble service provider, designer, you may call that.
Okay. Okay. So you keep the clients
I have
happy.
a lot of good work over there, plenty of good work. I may say that. You may be proud of me. My clients are proud of me that I've done some good job for them. But I can't be proud of myself. My clients are proud of me that I was the first architect to build for them a green retail architecture about 15 years back. The first in the country. When we didn't have IGBC, we didn't have a REHA, we hadn't a GREHA, we didn't have a Green Building Council of Country. About 15 years back, we started doing gold-graded township in India, first of its kind. Now they are proud about me and get me, thank you very much, and get a lot of more business.
Okay.
So I can't be a proud guy, I have to be always humble guy.
Okay. Yeah. So architect Prem Nath is a very humble. We all know that. But his clients are very proud of him. Rahul, what accomplishment you would like to tell us about that you are really proud of, that you did that, you achieved that?
I can say I'm way too young to actually answer this question. I think there's
Okay.
plenty. But I can certainly say that my 4-year-old son is super proud of me. So yeah, I think that's something which I can say is an
Okay,
accomplishment.
great. As a father, you should be proud of that. Your son is proud of you. And I am proud that I'm sitting between these two very accomplished designers. So that's my accomplishment of the day. Um, but last question, what is your wish for the future? One wish that you would like to fulfill in the next
Look, I
coming
had done
years?
55 years of practice over there in my country. I've grown from very small thing to very backward kind of environment in our country, from poverty to richness, healthiness over there. A lot of growth has happened in my country. I'm still concerned that in India, after independence for 75 years, we're not able to build something we call Indian in architecture. That's what I've complained to myself, complained to my co-professionals, my other people over there. How come maybe state must initiate some process by which must do something about that. Currently, I am involved in doing Vedic architecture. Vedic kind of village, Vedic smart village. Vedic doesn't mean that we gaon, purana gaon. Gaon will be smart. Like we'll be living with environment, nature. Prakriti, Prakriti, nature. Today, fancy word you call environment. So designing with environment, using local materials over there. No, I'm going to use high-tech materials, high technology materials, building a maybe 50 story, 60 story, 100 story, 10 story, 15 story, all kind of thing over there. But bring a Vedic culture, Vedic flavor on that. I could call Indian architecture. I'm pursuing that now. Hopefully, I'll be still around. I will do something. We all be around something to watch something. I'm sure. I also advise all my other fellow architects. They must also attempt to do it. Why not? Why only me? All of us put together must do it.
Correct.
That's my vision to think about that.
Okay, fantastic. So Vedic village, we are looking forward to it. And yes, architect Premnath is right in saying that we are yet to create an Indian landmark. We still talk about Taj Mahal and all, which had been built centuries ago and which identify India. But today is the time that we do need to create some modern landmark. Rahul, what is your lookout for the future? What is your top wish that you would like to, as you said, you are still a young practice and there are many, achievements to do. So what is one near future wish that you would like to fulfill?
So I'll certainly want to amalgamate my design practice and music. So I think I have some little bits and pieces in my head, but I think I'll have to maybe work towards it. What I intend to do is if I give you an example, say any Christopher Nolan movie that you watch is absolutely incomplete without a Hans Zimmer soundtrack. It sort of moves you, right? Genuinely, in my studio, music is something which drives me. And I want to somehow inspire others too, that it's not just work in office, but you should certainly have an inspiration which drives you towards it. And that could be a kind of an illustration for others. I think that's what I'm looking forward
fantastic.
to.
I think that would be very interesting to see bringing together music and design and them getting inspired with each other. I think that's a fantastic. We would also love to see that. So thank you so much. All the best wishes to you, Architect Premnath, for what you are doing and continue to do in future. And Rahul, we are looking forward to many more things from you. So thank you to both our experts. I think we have of this entire day's conclave. We couldn't have asked for a better closing.